Hello everyone, MFPallytime here, and welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video, we have landed upon Chen Storm Stout. He was added into the game on September 10th, 2014, and I have checked that date 3 times now because that seems way too long ago. His current win rate is 48.9%. His popularity is just 3%. But, fun fact, back when we did the previous A through Z, his popularity was 2.3%. So, you know, it's going up, I guess. Chen was probably the most bugged character that has ever made it to the game. His Q ability alone, let's go into try mode. Let's go ahead and turn off cooldowns. His Q ability, Flying Kick, allows him to jump to a target. Now, Chen was added into a game that already had Illidan in it. So I was always really confused how Illidan's Q, which effectively does the same thing, has always seemed to work. But Chen's went for what felt like years being almost unplayable. Let me tell you what Chen's Q did. Sometimes you would kick in and end up behind the target like this. Sometimes you would end up here. Sometimes, if the target was taunted, you would kick and nothing would happen. You would just get a cooldown and continue walking. If you kicked a Chen at the same time, if 2 Chens kicked themselves at the same time, that's a good way of putting that, right? They would literally start to spin in circles around each other, stuck in the kick animation. It was horrendous. It was so bad. And let's not forget, one of Chen's dominant builds when he first released was one that involved kicking. So the consistency of it was all over the place, and that lasted for a long, long time. Chen's ultimate, Storm, Earth, and Fire, was totally redesigned in this rework. Each of the individual minions give you ability. The Storm one grants you a shield. The Earth slows enemies, and the Fire gives you increased attack speed. These have their own health bar. A popular strategy for Chen of yesteryear, though, was to take this talent with as much regeneration as possible, because your character would continue to regenerate inside of this. This is back when it was just kind of you spawn other stuff and immediately fight people. Also, the Storm, Earth, and Fire of yesteryear had an instant cast, so you could get your character to almost be dead and then we're back with 3 copies of Chen instead of the 1. Let's also talk really quickly about a system that Heroes of the Storm used to have called talent gates. Let's say you picked up a character for the first time and you were heading into a new match. Well, what Blizzard used to do is lock talents that weren't part of what they thought were going to be the character's, main playstyle. So let's say at level 1, Storm Stout Secret Recipe and Eye of the Tiger would be locked, and as we go through different tiers, other talents would be locked as well, until you had a few games under your belt and you understood the mechanics of the character a little bit more. There was an issue on Chen that when he released, all of his talents were they were gated. So you had to play the same exact build every single game. And it turned out a lot of those talents actually had some of the worst win rates of each tier as well, after things kind of stabilized and the bug was fixed. So not only were you stuck picking talents that Blizzard picked for you, but they were some of the worst talents the character had. And I'd be upset if I didn't just talk about that one more time. I'm so glad talent gating is not a thing anymore. I am so glad. The Chen that we have in the game now has an ability called Stagger. This replaces our old E, which was Breathing Fire. That is now coupled in with Keg Smash. You use Keg Smash, and then your W ability changes to be something else that you can combo with that. Very few characters have abilities that change. We were talking about this on stream. So the fact that you have a combo on one button is certainly another quirk of the character. Stagger works very similar to the tanking mechanic that tanking mucks have in WoW, where they stagger off a little bit of a damage for a short time. But Fortifying Brew allows us to mitigate that damage, and I actually really like this combination of abilities. I think it's really fun to just tank through everything on Chen, although you're not going to be able to do it all the time. I know this was a bit of a long intro. Thank you for sitting through it. Chen has always been a little bit of an outlier as far as characters go, and we had to touch on a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on Volskaya Foundry. The friendly team today: Chen, Kira, Zul'jin, Kel'Thuzad, and Alrak. The enemy team: Artanis, Valera, Nazebo, the Butcher, and Sylvanas. At level 1, we're going to go for freshest ingredients. Increases the healing duration of regeneration globes by 150%. That is a 50% increase of what it used to be. It only used to give 100%. And once we pick up 15 globes, gain an extra second of cooldown reduction of our fortifying brew than what we used to have. It used to be 1 second, now it's 2 seconds. The Salarak was in the previous game with me, and all of my games on Chen have been rough today, sorry to say. I feel like in a lot of matches, I've been fighting the mental stability of my teammates just as much as the attacks of the enemy teammates. Just keeping people motivated, trying to keep them from giving up within the first 5 minutes and just AFKing. It's been quite the struggle. And I'm kind of at the end of the line here. It's 11:40. I've been recording Heroes since 1 p.m. today, or, you know, practicing, warming up, getting ready for videos since 1 p.m. today. This is the one. We're going to send it. No matter the outcome, we're going to send it. Chen is a pretty formidable offlaner. He doesn't have the best clear speed, but because he doesn't have mana, he can kind of just sit in lane all the time. That level 1 talent for freshest ingredients really does help out with his sustain, and he doesn't get too much more help with that until level 7, once we pick up Brewmaster's Balance. So make sure that in lane, you're using your stagger effectively, and also make sure that you're really utilizing these globes. Artanis can definitely outtrade me at this stage in the match, but pretty soon, he won't be able to stop the tide of Chen. Our Q ability is a point and click kick. Flies us to the target, hopefully landing on the other side if everything works out well. And then once we get there, we deal a little bit of damage. Our W ability actually comes in 2 parts. It has a keg smash as well as a breath of fire. The keg smash itself does some damage in an area and puts a slow debuff on them. And then if we breathe fire on anyone that is slowed by that debuff, it's then going to ignite them for some damage over time. It is important to finish your Regen Globe quest, although if you don't do it right away, it's really not that big of a deal. Yes, you are going to be getting quite a lot more sustain from being able to use Fortifying Brew more, and by having that shield last longer and let you move around with it a little bit more. But it's certainly not mandatory to success. The enemy team's Artanis has been missing for a while. Valeera just piecing out as well. Let's grab this globe. Back it up a little bit. Our E ability is Stagger. This works very similar to how tanking monks in WoW work, where you're going to take some damage and you're going to turn that direct damage, that immediate damage, into damage over time instead. Unfortunately, while I was flying forward there, the enemy team's Valeera managed to stun me mid-kick. You hate to see it, but luckily we are able to emerge alive out of that altercation. We are going to head back to the base so we could join our team in the middle. At level 4, we picked up Accumulating Flame. Increases our ignited damage by 20%. Basic attacks against heroes who are ignited increase the duration of that dot by 0.7 seconds. 75 seconds. A lot of angry pings happening right now. The Butcher for the enemy team is going to be rooted and taken down. Valeera back in that bush. Was thinking about moving out and then decided against it. I'm going to move on to the objective here and hope my team follows suit relatively soon. I don't know what he's sorry for. Nothing happened. I'm going to take Brewmaster's Balance here at level 7. This gives us bonuses based off of our current levels of brew. If I go under 50 brew, we're going to gain movement speed. If I stay above 50 brew, we're going to gain health regeneration. Nice grab from Alarak. Unfortunately, Valeera engaging on me. I'm going to be forced to just stand here and drink and hope that my team has enough damage to take her down. That 2.75 second silence is not something to be fucked with when you're playing as Chen. I say this every time we do an A through Z for Chen, but there are more targets in the game now with crowd control than ever before. There's more characters in this game that are trying to stack damage increases by hitting heroes than ever before. And while you're drinking that fortifying brew to get your main resource back, yes, you do get a shield, but you're also leaving yourself completely wide open for the punishment of an enemy team who is actively seeking to attack you. We do see Artanis moving forward. Alarak's going to pull him back. Let's get a little bit of damage on Sylvanas. Kick ahead with her as well and cut off the Butcher as he's moving forward. The friendly team then moves on to the capture point. And then I was going to leave, but literally everyone moved off the capture point. I thought they were going to stay and get it. Okay, 41% right now, and the enemy team's deaths actually staggered, and Nazebo being dead is actually pretty significant. I'm going to head up top and get that moving back in the right direction. I'm not sure why there's still a line on my mini-map, as if there is a Merc camp still pushing here. Maybe someone at Blizzard could fix that for me. I don't know what that is. I am going to head back down to the middle now that the enemy team is starting to regroup. Butcher is charging directly into towers, followed by Valeera. The enemy team has totally retaken this territory over. Tazdingo and Kel'Thuzad are, or excuse me, yeah, Kel'Thuzad's here now. I'm just going to have to drink and stagger some damage here, unfortunately. We can kick out this way. We are going to run through some toads, but Fortifying Brew here should keep me alive. Perfect, 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 perfect. Sorry I'm stumbling over my words a little bit. It has been a very, very, very long day. At level 10, I am going to pick up Wandering Keg. I thought about learning Storm, Earth, and Fire for this because it has received a significant number of changes, and usually I like to show off those changes. However, Wandering Keg has been previously and still is one of my favorite abilities in the game. Displacement is so fun. I love it so much, and being able to push your adversary across the lane or crowd control them into a wall by running into them with a barrel is just too much fun not to showcase in our A through Z video. The enemy team's Nazebo is a little low on health there. Sylvanas taking some damage as well. Valeera engaging into this. It looks like our objective isn't going to get too much more out of it. The enemy team's Valeera did make it away. I'm going to drink off to the side and just fortify my brew. And if my team wants to continue to push in here, they certainly can. We're going to turn Stagger on now that Sylvanas has engaged. Try to get some space for this guy with Wandering Keg, pushing back the enemy team's Artanis into the wall. RKT is staying a little too long, I think. The swap does not connect with anyone, and it looks like we are able to disengage. Butcher getting a kill on Kira down in the bottom lane. His meat currently 72. 72. Both teams are level 10 now. Stagger is on as the Butcher is engaging. The stun from Valeera doing some good damage too. We do manage to dodge the mind control, however, that Sylvanas tried to follow up with. That Stagger can save you in so many instances. It really does mitigate a fuck ton of damage. Our ultimate is only on a 50-second cooldown, so we can use that Wandering Keg a lot. If the enemy team is out of position, there's no reason not to use it and jump on one of them. Like this Valeera, for instance. The ultimate still goes off, even though you can't see her. Don't worry. She's in here somewhere. We'll get her, right, guys? Wandering Keg is going to push the enemy team's Artanis away. Trying to keep him in the corner there for my team to finish off. However, our auto attack damage seems a little lackluster, at least at range. We're going to have to really set up Tazdingo for some of those kills. Another bug I just noticed on Chen. Did you see my last beam of light above my head when I was centering my camera? It was way off to the side. What was that? Was that because I used the Wandering Keg? Speaking of which, 22 seconds left on that cooldown. Valeera for the enemy team is looking at our Kira right now. Let's jump in on her. Hit her with the slow. Hit her with the burn, too. We're going under tower. Stagger is on just in case we need it, but it looks like we did not. By the way, Stagger only lasts for 3 seconds and only has an 18-second cooldown. So you want to use it pretty often, actually. The enemy team Sylvanas pretty far forward here. We're going to hit her with our first slow. Cut off her escape here. Get her away from these buildings. Run into the Butcher because we are unstoppable as he's charging into us. And help secure that kill. Dude, Wandering Keg is so fun. It is so fucking fun. Also, we finished off our level 1 quest, so now we're going to keep, how much is it? 50%? 50% of the shielding we get from drinking our brew will just remain. So effectively increasing our HP as long as we can keep that up. The enemy team does have 2 members currently dead, as the next objective is going to be forming in just 10 seconds. We haven't been taking any camps around the map or gearing up on any neutral items, which does have me a little concerned for our well-being. But luckily for us, it doesn't look like the enemy team has been doing that either. Nazebo still continuing to push the middle lane. I'm just going to stand on this. The Butcher going in on Kira is going to connect with that stun and silence, meaning that she is going to be taken down. The mind control on Taz Dingo has him running directly into Sylvanas, but his damage is more than enough to take her down. Now the Butcher, with 146 meat to his name, mounts up, and is he going to start to head up here? Let me stand in the middle here. Valeera charging in, the Butcher going in as well. He is going to be rooted by Kel'Thuzad. That's going to hit 3 people. The root a little late there, but we're still channeling. Does the enemy team know this is happening?
You will be honored by my presence.
Oh, they're starting to know now. Still not standing on the point, though. Hey! Valeera's here somewhere. I just heard the stealth. Let's stagger some damage. I saw her moving from the shadows. Good root into a kick is going to secure that kill. Nazebo moving in with the spiders is not going to connect. I'm going to fortify my health here. We are totally fine. Now, combo strikes is going to increase my attack speed, so we can keep that extra burning damage on our Tannis much, much longer. And we live through that altercation. No problem, really. That went well. I want to get in that because we'll actually regen while we're in it. But there were some spiders there, and that scared me. Also, my lane clear is not bad. I can just go clear lanes for our team. We are 16 to their 14 right now. They are going to be hitting 15 soon, but actually... I wasn't able to get the 3-level lead. That's okay. 2 members of the enemy team still dead. 138 meat on the Butcher, and the top lane push was successful. When we hit level 13, we picked up Ring of Fire. Basically, whenever I do my Keg Smash Flame Breath combo now, we're just going to radiate a bit of damage as well, just increasing our passive damage output even more. It's actually pretty good. Looks like the objective did go down. The mind control landing on the Dingo. We should be here soon, but not soon enough. Kira's still going in, not afraid of anything, it would seem, but I'm just going to disengage here, I think. I may not be able to reveal her when she's in the smoke, but we can certainly move her out of it. So we got top for free. We got middle for free. Like I said, we're not the best at taking camps, but I can do it. I imagine the enemy team is going to continue pushing in here, though. Actually, no, they totally backed off. I really don't know what they're thinking. I haven't known what most people were thinking all day, though. Maybe I should stop trying to guess what people are thinking. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign. 25 kills to the enemy team's 9 at the moment, so our murder death squad has been pretty effective, at least. I could see them invading us here, so I'm going to get full brew. We actually just saw the enemy team's Valeera next to us. That was a little short. We are mind controlled, but they managed to snag the turret. Let's go ahead and turn into the barrel and just push those guys along back into our team. Keeping them in range of the Dingo as long as possible is going to allow him to literally just auto attack them down. So we secured 2 nice kills for our team with that barrel there. And if you saw, while I was pushing them against the wall, every time that knockback interaction occurs, that is effectively a stun on that target. So Valeera is not able to get into stealth there. And Artanis wasn't able to like boomerang or try any fancy swap stuff. They're just at the mercy of the barrel. The Butcher is going to deal some big fucking damage, taking down our Alarak and then trying to walk away. But your pinging killed me. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. The friendly team is starting to paint the map blue. We got that turret on the left. Actually, that was stolen, but we got the XP for it. And that mercenary camp is beginning to push up top. So at least there's some pressure against our adversaries. They've been staggering their deaths a lot. And if we were a little quicker, we could control more stuff around the map. But we're certainly in a pretty dominant position at the moment. The enemy team's Artanis is clearing top right now. Nazebo and Valeera are in the middle lane. And we have secured the heal from the top lane. If he thinks he can get this kill, I will support it. We're going to jump in on that. Hit him with the fire if he comes back, although missing. Hey, bud. If he turns around, we have damage, staggering, but it looks like we don't even need that. That was a good escape on his part. He did well. Brawler in the middle lane clearing that. We're going to take... Honestly, we might want to take the Unstoppable. They have a lot of CC here. We can totally negate the Butcher's charge and the mind control and all that kind of fun stuff with this. There is a team fight in the middle lane happening right now. I don't know why we didn't move immediately to the objective, but the Butcher... Is he done with his quest? He's got to be close. Yeah, 220 right now. We could just sit here and drink for a moment, turn Stagger on as well, and then walk walk ourselves away. What the fuck? What the fuck? Damn. That was a pixel perfect mind control. I thought I was out of range of that all day. My bad, team. That feels fucking bad. One of the worst things you can do in this game is stagger your death, especially in the late game. So we have people respawning right now. Ideally, we would have been grouping up with them right now to take on this objective. But because I staggered to my death, my team is without a front line for quite a while. And that means the enemy team, even though they're spread out, is taking this uncontested. There's people middle, there's people bottom, there's people top. But we're still not able to push it on this objective. And it's totally my fault. I definitely take the blame for that one. The Butcher charging in once again, this time on Kel'Thuzad, and is going to be taken down. Once again, staggering our deaths by another minute. This, if you wanted to know why you lose momentum in games, this is exactly why. It's when the enemy team is able to compound their victories by killing off just a couple members of your team at a time. The zombie wall stopping Kira from re-emerging in our base. Let's go ahead and kick over to the other side of the enemy teams. Sylvanas pushing her back into our auto attackers and finishing her off. 42 seconds on Keg again. We need to do a full drink of our Keg. Oh, never mind. No, we don't. I didn't take energizing brew. We're fine. Butcher is in the middle of the map right now, not doing anything for his team, so we are pretty safe here to push out against this. Remember, those regen globes are very important for our well-being. I'm going to stagger a little bit of damage here, finish off the enemy team's Nazebo. Now all they have is an objective that's going towards a tier 1 defense at the moment. That's kind of good. That's going to buy us a little bit of time. Lots of pings going out on the Butcher, but he's so far away. He is not of any concern to me. Let's beat this thing up as fast as we can. Barrel's ready to go as well. I'm going to drink some of that damage away. Do it one more time. Looks like they are ganking the Butcher up top, that Unstoppable being used, but he is healing for a ton with those auto attacks. Trying to escape out of the top lane right now, and that is a really big staggered death. If we can get everyone regrouped here, I can do some barrel shit. Perfect, actually. Let me get on the other side of Artanis here, shove him back into our team, stop him from retreating yet again. Sylvanas was focusing a lot of damage on me, so we're just going to step back and try to heal. We are able to move in now. Does she have Banshees? Stagger is up just in case we take any extra damage. Really close route, almost finishing off the enemy team's Valera. Just a slight bit off. Let's grab double regen globes here. I cannot stagger any more damage, but I can drink now. Those spiders are not going to get through that. Alarak moving in with the silence, comboing that with the Kel'Thuzad ultimate, and all of a sudden we have ourselves a push. Now, I imagine this will outdamage me at some point, but at least for now, for my team, I'm able to move in here and hold the line with just fortifying brew and take the building. Now, the enemy team's Butcher is re-emerging. If he walks into us, that's another phenomenal opportunity to stagger the enemy team's death, but it looks like he's playing pretty safely at the moment. We could end. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not without everybody. And we're very spread out over the map at the moment, too, so we need to be very mindful of that. The Butcher is clearing top. It's currently 19 minutes into the game, level 23 to 22. Our team does have that advantage. The enemy team will be respawning shortly. Let's go ahead and drink up to a respectable amount of health. We are taking the health power up in the middle of the map. We can also grab a turret down here as well if we are quick. The enemy team only has one thing they can really focus on over there, which is going to be that top right mercenary camp. They just took that now, so they're going to be roaming around the map hoping to get a pick. This is when we need to start to group up. Group. I'll scout this out for our Alarak, see if we can get him a deadly charge target. Kira by herself down to the bottom lane. We're gonna immediately keg and try to make some room for this guy, who is hopefully going to be able to run away. We should just be disengaging from this. We shouldn't really be trying to make this work. The Butcher actually re-engaging there. I'm gonna try to finish off Sylvanas, but unfortunately, that might be the entire game, actually. If they push. That's gonna be over. Alarak trying to stay alive, but unfortunately not able to. Honestly, after that peel, everyone should have just backed up. Chen can make the opportunities for his team, but his team has to take the opportunities. I peeled for that guy all day, and then he chased the death down. Unfortunately, that's been happening game after game after game after game after game today. It's been really, really, really disheartening. We do have a decent push in the top lane, which is getting a free building, but of course the enemy team has a Sylvanas, and they're getting a free building here as well. We'll be back up in 15 seconds. The Butcher is responding to that as well, meaning they don't have his damage on the core, which they are starting to rip through pretty quickly. We might be able to get in there and deal a little something, maybe push these guys around, but it's looking like it's too little, too late, and that is A through Z, Chen. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Talents I used in today's video were freshest ingredients, accumulating flame, brewmaster's balance, wandering keg, ring of fire, combo strikes, and purifying brew. All in all, I do think Chen is really, really fun. He excels in situations where he is not the only front line for his team. If he's able to jump onto the back line, get some damage in on some squishy targets, maybe even use Storm, Earth, and Fire to assassinate the support of the enemy team, he can be a great tool. But he's not the best at being a tank. He lost his classification for it. But still in quick match today, I found myself in situations where I was the only front line game after game after game. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. These take a shit ton of work. We'll be back again next time with Cho.